Hello, welcome to the Driftless Days channel, a channel devoted to enjoying the outdoor activities in and around the driftless area of the upper Midwestern United States. In today's video, I'm out on the Mississippi River where it forms the boundary between the states of Wisconsin and Minnesota. It's a warm spring day in late May, and I'm basically trying various techniques, just trying to catch anything that will bite. The upper Mississippi River is renowned for its great diversity of fish species present, due in part to the fact that there's a wide variety of habitat features that exist in the river system. To help manage these fish populations in the upper Mississippi River system, specific types of aquatic habitats have been identified and classified. For example, in this clip here, I'm trolling along a channel border habitat, kind of in and around and over various wing dams. Smallmouth. Must be the day for smallmouth. A number of habitat classification schemes have been developed for large rivers with slight differences among them, but most recognize some pretty basic habitat features. These include a main channel area, that's the portion of the river where most of the navigation happens, including the barges as well as recreational traffic. Various levels of side channels that connect from the main channel back to the main channel or possibly to some backwater areas. And then usually a couple different kinds of backwaters, either kind of more like a natural backwater like in the upper portion of this figure, or sometimes they recognize a large impounded backwater area that's usually upstream of the main stem navigation dams. 11 inches. After a time, I switched over to a beetle spin to fish wing dams, closing dams, and other rock structures in the main channel border habitats. Tiny. Pull a little smallmouth off this rock shelf all day long, I bet. One of the neat things about the Upper Mississippi River is there's, all sorts of environmental studies and projects and research that has been done on it. And one of the, again, very interesting parts is that there's data readily available on a little bit of habitats, but in particular on long-term changes in fish populations. And so if you go to your browser and simply type in Upper Midwest Environmental Sciences Center, it should bring you to a page like this. If you click on the Sciences Center page, once you get to the kind of cover page, the Upper Midwest Environmental Sciences Center, also called UMESC, it's actually the main station is out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. At this point, you can click on the Science tab here on the left-hand side. And then we're interested here in long-term resource monitoring. Click on this tab. This brings you to this page, and it's got basically, there's been annual sampling of various parts of the Upper Mississippi River since the mid to late 1980s. And so you can look at data for all sorts of stuff. You can see fish, vegetation, water quality, invertebrate populations. What I'm interested, of course, in is the fish component. So I'll click that over here on the left. And what this does is it brings you to this page, and I'm looking for the graphical browser. And once you get to this page, it kind of gives you a rough idea of their program for sampling. But you can go down here where you can query or ask questions of the LTRM fisheries database, and you can select all sorts of stuff. In this instance, I'm looking at catch per unit of effort for various fish populations. So I'll click on that. And then you can query these other parameters. One of the things that helps when you're looking up these long-term data is it helps to know which gears and habitats are like the best places to sample for some of these fish. For smallmouth bass, which is what I'm interested in here, I know that day electrofishing is a really good gear to collect them in. And the substratum, these are like the different habitat types. You could select side channel areas, main channel border, main channel wing dam, shorelines, or I'm going to select pool wide. So what's kind of the average catch rate of smallmouth bass for the entire pool. And then you got all sorts of fish species to pick from here. Again, I'm looking for smallmouth bass. So I can get to smallmouth bass right here. And you can pick the starting year. I'm going to basically start when the project started in 1993. So it's like 30 some years of data. Submit the query, and it produces a figure that looks like this. And so there's kind of 6 key pools in the program that are sampled. Pool 4, which is basically the riverine portions upstream and downstream of Lake Pepin, right around Lake City, Minnesota. Pool 8, which is the river right by La Crosse, Wisconsin. Pool 13 down in Bellevue. And then Pool 26 in East Alton, Illinois. The unimpounded or open river reach, which is down in southeast Missouri around Jackson. And then the LaGrange Pool on the Illinois River. And what these are is each one of these dots is a year. This happens to be Pool 4, highlighted here on the right. And so each dot is kind of the average catch rate of smallmouth bass for the entire pool, bounded by some estimates of variance or variability here. These are probably 95% confidence intervals or something. But you can see the population, bounces up, declines, bounces up again, declines, was really high here in about 2017, 2018, and most recently the population has been a little bit lower from about ever since post-COVID 2021 to about 2024. And over here on the left, you can see kind of the same figures, but for each one of the pools. And so you can see as you move down the river from up in Minnesota, by the time you get down to like Illinois and Missouri, they don't catch a lot of smallmouth bass down there. So this is kind of a neat little graphical tool that I'll use sometimes to kind of see how fish populations are doing in different parts of the river and how they're doing over time. After catching a bunch of smallmouth bass in the main channel border habitats, I moved into some side channels to see what I could catch there. You can see that this side channel is flowing out of the main channel in the far distance of this shot here. bigger smallmouth right underneath them. Off my phone. It was getting late in the day and pretty warm, so I began to think about heading home. But in my last few casts, I caught a fish that I don't usually catch on a beetle spin. Largemouth. Crappie. Ah, frickin' crappie. A little bit of everything today. Oh, he hammered it too. Jesus. Well, that was about the end of this day of fishing. If you enjoy this sort of content, be sure to like the video and let me know in the comments if you have a favorite habitat that you like to fish on the big rivers.